I presume that Sam is not even suiting up Saturday, but is he close to throwing again?
I'm not even going to
okay.
go there, because then everybody brings on everybody's speculation, and it's just not worth doing.
Can you talk
At
about,
least for me anyway? It may be for you, but
You can have it.
you talk about limited amount of film on Tulsa's new quarterback and maybe what you've seen out of him?
Very competitive guy. He does a nice job scrambling. He's got a strong arm when you watch him throw. But I just think he handles himself well. He's you see the competitiveness, staying alive in plays and scrambling, and making some plays when there isn't, when things break down a little bit. But he looks like he's handling everything they want him to do, really well.
That they led the nation in total offense. They did it in 2007 and 2008, two totally different ways. What do you like about their offense? Is it their play calling pace? Was it their coordinator that left?
No, they're on track again this year, doing it really well. So I think as much as anything, they use all their pieces. They're spreading the ball around to everybody. They do a nice job, run and pass, of mixing it up, moving the pocket. They do a little bit of everything, so they give you a lot to work on, and they use all their pieces.
What ways do you differently approach a team like this that has such a dual threat quarterback and is their leading rusher?
Oh, hopefully you play disciplined defense. You don't have a different approach. Our approach, usually every week's pretty similar.
Coach, did you foresee playing this many true freshmen in the preseason, or has it been a case of these guys stepping up and impressing you in practice?
Both. I think I was asked early on about it, and I did say a lot of these guys are, we're getting prepared to play. So we did anticipate playing a good number of them, but we're not going to play them if they're not prepared for it, and we don't feel they're going to play at a level that we expect. But they're responding really well.
What's your thoughts about Dean's tie, and would you wear something like that?
I think it looks awfully nice. I'd wear that.
Would you wear one like that?
Sure. Maybe Dean will loan it to me.
Coach, what about nickel? Is this game a game where you would run more nickel than, say, the previous two, and who would you bring in?
Well, in the end, we view Keenan Clayton as a nickel. He's a converted safety, and that's normally who we put up in that position. And Keenan's going to run with anybody on our team. I mean, he's got great speed, and also, so that's why a year ago, again, that package for us, we feel we're in it. He's kind of a hybrid of a similar guy, to say a Roy Williams, where he's a good cover guy and can run really well, but he also has, he has some size to him that when he blitzes and, when he's containing things on the perimeter.
How have the safeties played?
They've played pretty well overall.
In a perfect world, would you prefer not to have to play a true freshman in the offensive line like Tyler?
In a perfect world, you'd love to have 5 seniors up there, but rarely is it a perfect world. As we all know, every year is different.
What did you think of his play in that game?
I thought he did a good job. He did a good job. He needs to get better, but that's natural, and expected, really. But he plays hard and has a physicalness to him, so hopefully he'll just keep developing.
Coach, what comment do you have about your receivers? There's a lot of talk of people writing about a second receiver that you can rely on.
Well, sure. Ryan, I guess, sticks out when he had such a big night the other night. But some of that was by design, and that who we were going to in those situations. But sure, you need some other guys to step up, and whether they're, stretching the field or coming up with plays or first down catches, and those guys are still, like the O-line, continuing to mature, and hopefully they'll keep, stepping up and making some of those plays that you need them to make.
Bob, the coaches apparently saw a lot in Sam Bradford pretty early and thought he could be a great player. I don't know about Heisman, but thought he could be a great player. What do you see with Landry Jones in terms of upside?
It's huge. Landry is, in a short period of time, could not have handled himself better. with everybody, with dealing with the pressure of it all, to his chemistry with the team, to everything. He's just handled it as well as you. And then even in the game, just not making mistakes and playing efficiently. The other night he has a heck of a night, and he had probably 4 or 5 drops that are legitimate drops. So anyway, again, I think he has a very bright future.
Well, is there any downside from OU's perspective to this series, playing an in-state foe? Is there any pitfalls at that at all?
I don't know what they'd be. So I don't know what they'd be. You guys can figure them out, but I don't see any.
In basketball, it's hard to get coaches to agree to do that for whatever reason. Seems a little more prevalent in football. I was just wondering.
You'd have to have them define that for you. In the end, it's we've gone over there a few years ago, and that was fortunately we won, and I think a fair experience for everybody. The people over there seem to appreciate it, but in the end, it's something to do time to time.
Speaking of that 07 game, have you been able to determine how much their defense has improved since that game? Because I think Todd Graham thinks it's amazing.
Oh, definitely. They're much different defense, from 2 years ago, and evident by the first 2 games how well they've played. And they've played awfully well in these first games here this year, and so we're very aware of that, and we need to be able to execute well to have a chance to move it.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Mike Bryan through his father?
I have, and thinking about Mike, and he's had a great start to the year, and the whole family. We just our continued prayers and thoughts go out to him. And I got to see Ricky the day we were shooting our intro video. I just finished my piece and came out of the studio, and there he was, big and tough looking as always, and then just so sad to hear the news that maybe just a couple weeks later, so anyway, really difficult, I'm sure.
Coach, on the lighter side, any comment on the stash?
No, I'm not growing one. But anyway, no, that's it's probably been a decent distraction for everybody, but not a big deal.
Do college coaches share things with each other, anymore? I was reading an article the other day, and some other coaches are saying they weren't going to, if they had some kind of offense they thought was unique, they weren't going to have.
I don't know. Everybody's a little more tight to the vest on what you're sharing with other people. You still do to some degree, depending on how close your friendship is, but you're with people you have no relationship with, it's it's happening less and less maybe. And I was thinking of Mike too, Brian. Back to your question, Dave. Is I lost my dad young, and my brothers were still playing. My brother Mark was still playing at Iowa, and so I just know how tough that is. But so anyway, it's we still thinking about him. Sure.